Emerging Technology Division Head for Information and Technology Services Department at the City of San Antonio. But more to the point, more to the heart here, Emily Royall is passionate about a future where technology serves the public's interest, not just the bottom line. She works here in San Antonio for the city, for the Information IT Services Department of the City of San Antonio. She's had longer job titles than the one I just butchered. She is also a board member of the GovAI Coalition, a network of over 350 public agencies in the US working to promote responsible AI in the public sector. Let's give a hand for that, because we could use it. Emily consults with the United Nations for the People-Centered Smart Cities program and publishes her work in international forums, including StateScoop and GovTech Magazine. She holds a master's in city design and development from MIT. Please welcome Emily to the stage.
All right. Y'all ready to get nerdy tonight? Before I start, I just really want to thank San Antonio for being my home and my community, my safe space, my rock. I want to thank my parents for choosing to build their home here. I want to thank Bob Rivard for giving me a shot. And I want to thank my partner, Mitch, who recently decided to marry me, so that's cool. All right, let's get started. So I'm here tonight to talk with y'all about technology and power. And no other image represents this better than the black box. Take a moment to take in the black box. What comes to mind? Perhaps feelings of obstruction, futility, absurdity. Well, in fact, the black box is a tool scientists developed to build complex systems like human brains. It replaces an unknown process with a unit that is only describable by what goes in and what comes out. But what goes on inside that unit is unknown. It's not something you can see or measure. And y'all may or may not be surprised to know that we've built all kinds of crazy systems using black boxes. They are central to cybernetics, a field of science that is the foundation of robotics and AI. In the 60s, cybernetics pioneered the use of black boxes to build human-like intelligent systems. But make no mistake, at their core, these systems are just black boxes. So when we talk about technology and power, we're really talking about the absence of knowing. Today, mainstream media has started using the black box as a metaphor to describe the invisible technologies that shape our daily experiences. And you have likely already had this experience, that your phones might be secretly listening to you because they serve you ads for something you were just talking about. Algorithms have gone so far as to predict that women were pregnant before they even knew it and actually driven people off of cliffs. They increasingly are shaping our beliefs, expectations, and opportunities. But before I get real with y'all about black boxes, I want to share with you a little bit about how I came to care about technology and power. I was raised in San Antonio by a French mother who supplemented my weak American education with books by Rousseau and Hannah Arendt. I learned from these great thinkers that those who consent to be governed enter into a social contract. And this contract should not be taken for granted. So as I progressed in my life and work and studies, I carried with me a deep affinity for protecting the public good. And this is very much what it looks like in my head as I am protecting the public good, so to speak. One day, my exploration brought me to Singapore, where I lived for a year and I worked on several projects in neighboring countries to help city governments serve marginalized communities. In neighborhoods just like this one, I helped officials provide better public services through mapping and calculating their community's needs. But when I presented our findings to the Singaporean government, they asked my team to fudge our numbers and exclude Indonesian minorities from our analysis. We were told the data and technologies that we were building would be only used to help preferred demographic groups, people chosen by their government to receive better services. Later, I heard a presentation that Google gave at my alma mater about a new company they were starting called Sidewalk Labs. Google would build cities from scratch, and they proposed to enthusiastically track all aspects of living in cities, from what's in your garbage to what's in your Google Drive. I remember feeling crazy as I looked around at my MIT colleagues pictured here, and feeling like, y'all okay with this? My gut told me that having a tech company track every aspect of life in cities was not going to be very empowering for everyday people. And sure enough, it wasn't. Google actually tried this out in Canada, and the public shut the project down. Overall, these experiences showed me that information technology can be either a weapon for control, or if democratized, it can be a tool to enhance the best parts of our humanity. Today, we're at a turning point, and tonight I want to share with you 3 stories that illustrate the crossroads. In 2023, Portia, a 32-year-old black woman who was 8 months pregnant, was arrested by the Detroit police for carjacking. Portia was misidentified through facial recognition technology, which matched her to surveillance footage of the actual person that committed the crime. After spending 11 hours in jail, she sued the city of Detroit. Earlier this year, Sewell, a 14-year-old, died by suicide after forming an intense connection to an AI chatbot that was modeled after a Game of Thrones character. When he expressed suicidal thoughts to the bot, it failed to intervene, and in their last exchange, the bot told Sewell to come home. And this inspiring individual, Ben, who I met in 2022, worked in the casino industry for years, and he saw firsthand how hotel employees were being mismanaged by AI. He used his experience to negotiate tech-savvy labor contracts with the likes of Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt. So what if we open the black box? That would mean rendering the invisible visible. We would both need to understand and have the means to understand the inner workings of systems that have power over us. In my view, that's not a privilege, that's a civil right. And civil rights are best claimed through coalitions. Together, coalitions can work to open the black box by demanding consumer protections against harmful effects of these technologies, requiring transparency from the people who build them, and advocating that employers protect employees' rights in the workplace. And that's really been my passion project lately, a coalition of governments, these are public officials, who are organizing for change. And governments make up an estimated $7 billion in annual funding on AI. So how we choose to invest public dollars in these technologies really can influence how they're built at scale. And you, as an individual, can also help us break through with small actions that you can take that have big impacts. You can learn about your public officials' policies on AI. You can choose responsible AI products. You can report if an AI system that you're using has an incorrect result. But most importantly, you have to ask questions about how these systems work and how the data they use are trained. And you have the power to take back technology, but only together can we open the black box. Thank you, San Antonio.
Thank you, Emily Royall. What's it like to have the French Revolution in your brain? I mean, it gets a little bloody in there. Do you have trouble making friends?
It's very passionate. It's a very passionate space.
Very passionate.
You know, I'm just always power to the people, man.
So, you know, it's the holiday season. I was one of those kids who used to sneak into my mom's closet where she kept the Christmas presents, unwrap them to look at them, and then wrap them back up. Did you do that?
Well, I like to really just prolong my, frustration with that. So I would just like shake the packages and just like, just really think through like what might be in there before I open them.
So I'm going to ask you a question no one's ever asked you. Is AI going to take all of our jobs?
What do y'all think? All right. I mean, I think with any technology, printing press, right? Like there's so many revolutions in tech that have transformed our lives for better or worse. And really our economies and the people who power them reshift and reorganize in new ways. And that is human innovation, not AI innovation. And that's what's going to happen with this too.
I mean, maybe one more question. I mean, because I loved how you use metaphors. I mean, that's my wheelhouse, and for mystery and this and that. But when when you said, what do you think of black box, I thought of the thing that is left at the bottom of the ocean after the plane crash, where you figure out what went wrong. So
I only had 6 minutes, but I was going to go into all of that engineering.
But what is one thing that could go right?
Ooh. I think something that can go right is if we democratize access to building these technologies. If our young people in San Antonio don't see themselves as consumers of this technology, but as builders and creators of them, then we have a beautiful future.
Beautiful. Nice, nice.